everybody, and welcome to the channel Crossing the Spiritual Streams. My name is Tandra, and today we're going to do a tarot pick-a-pile card reading, and it's going to be kind of a special reading for Valentine's Day. It's going to be your love in a past life. So basically we're just going to talk about what love was like for you in a past life, who you might have been with, what kinds of things you might have faced, or what it was like. What your life was like, what your love life was like. So we're just going to see what the cards have to say and what they come through. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel, have liked my videos, left me comments in the comments section, and shared this channel with your friends and family. All of those things are very important to the channel. They're helping the channel grow. It helps YouTube to decide to share the video with other people, and I just wanted to say thank you very much. Also, I'd like to give a shout out that those of you who have also managed to donate to the channel through our PayPal link that's in the description of all of our videos. Okay guys, for those of you who don't know how pick-a-piles work, basically there are 3 different piles to choose from here. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I have a rose with each one of them as well. We have a yellow rose, a red rose, and a white rose. So you can reflect on the piles, and whichever one you feel most drawn to, you can go ahead and watch that particular pile. It's okay to watch more than one pile or even all 3 if you feel compelled to do so. That sometimes happens. Along with the tarot cards for each pile, we also are going to have our charms and our oracle spheres, so you can be thinking of a yes or no type of question that you can get an answer to. We're going to give you a moment or so to reflect on these piles, and then whenever you're ready, there'll be timestamps in the description for each pile that you can click on and go directly to your pile when you're ready. All right, guys, we'll see you there. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. Those of you that chose the yellow rose, and remember, this is your past love life or your past love, in a past life. So we're gonna do our tarot cards here. We've got our charms we're gonna look at, as well as our oracle sphere question. So you can be thinking of a yes or no type of question that you'd like an answer to as well. But let's see what cards we have first. Love. Wow, that's awesome. That's a cool card to show up at first for a love reading. Okay, the 8 of Wands. Interesting. The 2 of Swords. Pull this forward just a smidge so you can see the cards a little better. The 2 of Wands. Interesting. The 6 of Cups. The Justice card. The Fool card. The King of Pentacles. The 6 of Wands, and the Star card. Okay, wow. Well, right off the bat, I feel like you had a great love. I feel like you ended up with a partnership that meant a lot to you. I think you fell head over heels in love with them. The Fool card, I think, kind of shows that. And I think you were a good partnership. I think you worked well together. You have quite a few 2s in the reading. You have the 2 of Wands, you have the 2 of Swords, and those, to me, 2s are usually a coming together, bringing things, it's taking a 1 and a 1 and making a 2. It's coming together, and in numerology, that's very important for a couple things. I mean, first of all, you have the love card here, which Cupid. I really feel like, you really fell in love with this person. You guys were deeply in love with each other. And I think you formed a really good partnership, which is really intriguing. I think there was some fiery passion involved. You might have had a decision to make. The Two of Swords quite often will mean that that you're not sure which way to go or what kind of decision to make. So there may have been a decision to make. You may not have been quite sure about this choice. I've got a feeling that at first maybe your family wasn't quite as happy with it at first. It might have taken them a little bit of time to maybe be happy with this relationship. Or you just had a couple of different suitors and you just weren't sure which one to go with. I get the feeling that maybe one of them might have had better prospects involved, and maybe you were thinking about choosing that person for financial reasons more so than actual love reasons. But I really feel like in the end you chose the one that you loved the most, even though financially you weren't sure it was going to work out as well as it could have. But I do think you were a great partnership together. I think the Justice card, the scales, I think really show that. And the twos that we had going on here as well. You did have some fiery passion too, because the Wands card is very much the passionate card. It's very much the things that you're very passionate about. So I really feel like you had that. I also think that you had a wonderful family life with this person. I think you ended up with children, at least a couple of children, but I feel like you might have even had more than that. But I believe you had children. You had a nice family life with them. I think there was a lot of emotional happiness going on here. And I even also feel like you might have been rewarded in the long run by your elders for this relationship. The financial prospects may not have been as good as the other choice that you had, but I think you had a really full and happy life. And what was nice is you were an equal partnership. There wasn't one person in it that felt like they had to rule over the whole family or make all the decisions for the family. You worked really well together, and you built a really good life together. Let's see if the charms have anything else to say about this, like maybe what other things that you might have dealt with. I'm not sure exactly what era this was in. I've been getting the feeling of 1800s a little bit, or early 1900s maybe. So not exactly sure what era, but we might get a little bit more feeling on that here in a minute. Okay. All right. We had a PEE. PEE. Okay. Those might be initials. Not sure. PE in of itself could mean rest, relaxation, so I do feel like maybe you had a fun time with this. This is interesting. Okay, first of all, you've got the Inspire and the Forever. I do feel like this was kind of the love of your life, and maybe even they've come through to this life, that it's somebody that you were very close to, and that love was very deep, and I feel like it was magical in a way with the white rabbit here. You've got the two parrots, together on that. We do have the teddy bear, which I still show as children. I think, children were involved in the relationship for sure. I do think you guys had children together, and a nice family life as well with the pouncing kitty here. I just, and the star kitty. I just see that as a lot of emotional happiness and looking on whatever. You also have the circle love, which kind of shows that forever love. Um, and also the love you star as well. So this is like the love of the ages, like the deep star love, like you were meant to be together. Uh, there might we do have the skull and crossbones here, which I'm trying to get a little bit more information. I might actually pull a couple more tarot cards for clarification on that, because we did have the Two of Swords here, which I kind of initially thought might mean that you had a decision to make, but I don't think the decision would have been all that hard for you, because I really feel like this was the love of your life and you really wanted to be with this person, and you just would have done that. Um, with the Queen of Hearts here as well, and the Eight of Wands. I really feel like you just would have went with this person. But it does say every journey starts with one step, and there was the skull and crossbones. So I'm wondering if there was some sort of problem that you guys had to overcome, or danger, or something that was a little bit more, that made the relationship difficult, or that threatened the relationship in some way. There was a threat to the relationship, or something like that. So that's what I'm wondering. Let's see if we can get another card or two to might help us do this. Okay, we do have the Knight of Swords. So it is possible that the person that you were with had to go off to war, or spend time dealing with the military, or authority in some way. We did have the King of Pentacles over here, and I felt like maybe they got rewarded, like maybe you guys got rewarded in some way, and I think maybe this might be a clarifier to that as well, that there was some danger. You guys were apart for a while, and it is possible that that may even be how the relationship ended, that they were heroic and died in the war, and then they got rewarded for that. I think by, leaders and other people. I think there might have been rewarding, but that may have been what actually separated the two of you in a past life. And, of course, that would be a very sad thing if you had to kind of end your relationship and didn't get to live to be, ripe old age or anything, which I kind of feel like that might have been what happened. But this person is the love of your life. This person is the one that you would actually be your soulmate in this lifetime. And now I don't know if you've ran across him yet in this lifetime. Oh yeah, so we've got the Eight of Coins here. And look how, carrying him over, the river here, and keeping them, that kind of just once again shows the closeness, the love, the deep, rich love that was there. So I really feel like that is just something that this was a very close relationship. I get this very strongly that you guys were just incredibly close, incredibly in love, and that there was a threat. And it may not have even have been that they had to go out in the military. Actually, what I'm really feeling is that they had to maybe defend against a military invasion. That maybe they didn't even join the military. That maybe the land that you were on, or where your home was, that maybe a military invaded it. You had to defend it, from invaders, kind of thing. And maybe, so maybe it's that whole vibe. Or maybe right after that they did join the military and go off to fight the war because the homeland was being invaded. But it's there definitely was an enemy there. There definitely was some fighting that had to take place, and I really feel like either that is what separated you, or there was a lot of problems because of that. Like when the person came back, they weren't quite the same. But I really feel like that the war was probably what ended this relationship in the first place. I really feel like that's what happened. So now in this relationship, in this lifetime, I really feel like this is your soulmate. This is who you're meant to be with. This person and you are very deep partners. If you haven't met that person yet in this lifetime, I really feel like you will meet again in this lifetime, and you will be able to form that bond and that friendship again, and that closeness. So just keep that in mind if you haven't done so. And if you have met this person, um, you'll know what I mean, because you already have this strong connection to them. You really have formed a really true partnership where each of you gives what you can to the relationship. You're true equals and that kind of thing. Let's go ahead and get our oracle spheres. And basically, you just ask a yes or no type of question, any question that you would like, but just a yes or no type of answer involved, because that's the kind of answers we get is, that's the type of question you need to ask. We have 4 different stands here. We have purple, green, red, and gold. And you decide which stand you would like your answer to appear on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can pick by number. You can pick by color, however you want. But we'll go ahead and get our answers. All right, number 1, purple, was a not now. Number 2, green, was a not likely. Number 3, red, was a no. And number 4, gold, is another no. All right, so purple not now, green not likely, red no, and gold no. So there's their answers to our Oracle Sphere questions. All right, guys, I hope this was a fun little Valentine reading for you, something that you enjoyed watching while you were here. I really hope you guys have a wonderful love life in this life, and I look forward to seeing you again in future videos. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. Remember, this is on your past love, like your love in a past life, basically, what it was like, and that kind of thing. And these are those of you that chose the red rose. And we have our tarot cards. We also have our charms we're going to look at here in a little bit, as well as our oracle spheres. So you could be thinking of a yes or no question that you'd like an answer to. And we'll go ahead and get those answers too. But let's just kind of see what we've got going on here. Let's see this card first. Oh, marriage. Oh, well, that is so cool. I did not pick these cards out in advance or go through them. Or I picked them out in advance. I shuffled in advance, but I didn't go through and pick out. But I find it very interesting, the cards that have been showing up, considering what the reading's about. Marriage. Okay, let's see what else we have going here. A 2 of coins. Okay, the Empress card. The Strength card. The 9 of Swords. Okay, the Page of Coins. The Star card. The King of Wands. Interesting. The Hermit and the King of Cups. Interesting. Okay, what I was feeling here at first with a couple of these early cards was that you actually knew the person that you got married to all the way from the time you were children. I think you were even betrothed maybe as children. Actually, with the king cards here and some other stuff, even with this hermit, I really feel like it might have even been arranged marriage, Okay, even with this page here, I think you might have been part of royalty, or at least the upper levels of the hierarchy, like dukes or um, other type of higher ups. If you weren't like princes and princesses or queens, those kinds of people, you were definitely pretty high up in the court. You were definitely the upper class. And I really feel like this was an arranged marriage from the time you were very young. And I really feel like you probably actually didn't want to marry this person. Um, I feel like it was something that you did not want to do. You felt like you had to do it because you were betrothed to do so. Your parents said you had to. I really feel like you guys might have been um, possibly ones that would take over the kingdom someday, whatever kingdom it had to be in. And it might have even have been. At first I was feeling kind of European countries, like some of the European areas, but I also get a little bit of feeling of the Middle East. So I think it might be a little bit more. Move these forward just a little bit. I hate it when they get cut off like that. Um, I feel like maybe uh, it might have been to prevent or to strengthen a couple of kingdoms, either to prevent a war or to help buffer against a war or to help consolidate lands and that kind of thing. So I really feel like this was an arranged marriage. This was not necessarily one that you really wanted to have. Um, I feel like in that particular lifetime that we're talking about, whatever, and I'm even thinking it might even be kind of far back, like 15, 1600s. So it's back a ways. Maybe even 1400s, 1300s. I mean, it's back a ways. It's not real recent history. I feel like you rather have wanted to be alone. You didn't really want to marry anybody. Okay. You knew from the time you were young you were destined to marry this person, and you had to because your parents said you needed to, and it was kind of written down. It was the law almost, or it was something you had to do. But honestly, you weren't very happy about the idea, and what you really wanted was just not to get married at all. You um, never had a chance to find your true love in that particular lifetime, because you knew from the time you were very young you were destined to marry this other person. So you never really had an opportunity to fall in love with them or fall in love with anybody um, at that point. So mostly you were just kind of a person who preferred to be out in nature. You preferred to be kind of enclosed and on your own. And so you married this person, and you might have had some time with them that was somewhat. It took a lot of strength and mental agility and some other things to uh, learn to live with the situation, because you really were a person in that particular life. Like I said, you really didn't fall in love with anybody, and you really didn't want to be with anybody. So this wasn't a particularly happy marriage. It was beneficial to the kingdom. It was that, and you did fulfill your duty from that point of view. So you needed to do that, and it did that. But and I think that might even be affecting your love life a little bit now. Like maybe you would like the idea of being close to somebody, but you've never really let anybody get close. You've never really let yourself find somebody that you could truly be happy with, because you did, this one life I think might be kind of affecting you. Sometimes the closest life to our reincarnation is not the one that is affecting us the most. Sometimes it's one's back a little farther. And I feel like maybe in your case, this might be the one that's affecting you the most in this life, that you might be having just a little struggle finding somebody that you want to be with, or letting your heart fully be given out to somebody, maybe. That maybe there's been some opportunities or been some people, but you've never fully let go with them, if there has been those opportunities, or that you kind of shun the opportunities when they come along and you haven't really let it go. But I think what's important to know here, and we're going to look at our charms because I think there might be some advice coming forward here with the charms. But what's important to know is that this was not the happiest of unions and not something you really wanted to do, and whatever, but it did work out well. And you were proud of yourself for doing what needed to be done. And now, because you did do that, you have permission now to move forward and do something that would make you more happy, if that makes any sense. Basically, it's a karmic kind of debt that's been paid. Like, karma now owes you one. Basically, you did something for your family and for the kingdom once before, and now you've got the opportunity to do something for yourself. Okay. I didn't expect the reading to kind of get that heavy. Sorry about that, guys, but it kind of did there a little bit. Let's see what else we have charms wise that might give us some information. Okay, this is interesting. We have an 11. 11s are a master number, and they're very important, and they're very cool in a lot of ways. Once again, they're very important to do things for society. They do have some karmic things that have to be done. Sometimes master numbers 11s have a little bit of a thing, of interest that they have to do. This is interesting. You have the ship and the luxury car. Once again, I do feel like you were rich in a past life. Probably royalty, probably those kinds of things there. We had the young and strong. It's interesting how we had the strength card too. So I think, and the brave. I do think you needed to be brave and you needed to be strong to go through with this marriage, because it was not one that you were very fond of. We do have the acorns here though, and those grow into a strong oak tree. And I do feel like this bond was one that was very important, like I said, for the kingdom. It was something that was very important that you do, and it did bring forth some strength to the kingdom, and some other stuff. And so even though you did not feel the fiery passions of marriage and other things that you could have, and like I said, I'm not even entirely certain that you ever truly found close love with this person, even though we do have the circle of love here. I see this more as this is an opportunity for now. This is the opportunity for you now. I kind of feel like that is the case. We do have the bicycle. We have the made with love. We have the car. We have the ship. So I feel like in this lifetime, that this person might be a foreigner, or, well, and I even thought that even in that lifetime that they might have been a foreigner, or, like I said, it did help bring two kingdoms together, so they were a foreigner from that point of view. But I feel like even culturally they might have been different than what you were used to and what you expected. But I also feel like a foreigner might be somebody that you can get close to in this lifetime. And I know that sounds a bit strange. We did have the swords cards here, and I just kind of felt like, once again, they kind of helped avoid conflict and war. It was a blessed union. It was blessed by both families. It was something that really helped things along and gave hope to the kingdoms and stuff like that. Now, this is interesting, though, because we do have a bone here, which I think kind of goes along with the strength cards and the watering can. I think you can nurture a relationship now, and maybe even with that person that you were with back then. That's really intriguing. Because it was such an important relationship for the kingdoms when you got together, I feel like there might have been a bond there that you guys formed that you might not even be aware that you formed because you were so against the marriage at the time that you never really gave it a chance. You never really formed the bonds with the person that you could have done so. And so because of that, I feel like that person is somebody that you could maybe be close to now. That I think you guys formed such a bond because you did what you had to do, that you might actually fall in love with each other this time around, which is kind of romantic in a way. I kind of like that. We do have some letters here. We have B, Q, Y, S, A, E, O, A. Those might mean something specific to you. They might bring forth certain thoughts or ideas or other things that might come forward for you. So I'm going to let you all deal with the letters there. But that's just, one thing. But that is something I found. So if you have not found the person that you're with or that you're destined to be with in this lifetime, be thinking about that maybe there's somebody out there that you haven't given the chance to, but that if you did, you might form a very, very close, loving bond and relationship. Also, if there is somebody out there that you have kind of formed a relationship with, but you haven't really given it that deep chance, that maybe giving it a chance might be something for you to think about doing. So kind of think about that and think about how right or wrong that feels to you. If it feels very right, you should do it. Because, you guys went through something kind of painful in the past. And if you guys could form a nice relationship together in this lifetime, that would be wonderful. That would be something that would be really great. So that's definitely something to think about there. All right, let's go ahead and get our oracle spheres. And basically we have 4 different stands to choose from here. We have gold, red, green, and purple, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you pick whichever stand you would like your answer to appear on. You come up with a yes or no type of question, and then you pick your stand, and then we'll get our answers. All right. Number 1, gold, is a not likely. Number 2, red, is a not now. Number 3, green, is a probable. Number 4, purple, is a not now. All right, so there's our answers there. We have gold, not likely, red, not now, green, probable, and purple, not now. Well, guys, I hope this was an entertaining little reading for you and maybe even some advice that might be useful coming forward. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the channel with your friends and family, leave us comments in the comments section. We look forward to seeing you in future videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Those of you that chose the white rose here. We're going to take a look and see what your past love life was like in a past life. So we're just going to take a look there. We do have our charms we will look at here in a little bit, as well as our oracle spheres. So you can be thinking of a yes or no type of question that you might get an answer to. So let's see what we've got here. Message. Interesting. All right, let's see what else we've got. The 5 of coins. Okay, the Chariot. Oh. The Three of Wands. The Four of Wands. The Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to pull this forward just a little bit. Don't like it when my cards get cut off too much. All right. The Ten of Swords. Wow. The Four of Swords. The Two of Wands. And the Emperor card. Huh. I was getting a lot of muddled messages here. A lot of things going on. At first, I kind of felt like you were an adventurer. You were somebody who didn't settle down with one person. You did not have a real, great love of your life kind of person to share your life with. For the longest time, I felt like you partied around in your youth. You fought quite a bit. You had many suitors. You, had that kind of life, I felt like, for quite a while anyway. But I do feel like at some point, and I feel like this was in the 1800s, but I feel like at some point, you settled down. You found one person to go and travel. I feel like you were like probably somebody that in the American West in the 1800s was the type of place that people would go out and settle and farm, and it was a country that needed taming a little bit, or there were some dangers, or there was a lot of had to clear out a lot of land and area and other things to be able to cultivate a field. So it was kind of a hard life, but also a rewarding one. I think there might have been some rough times, a few rough winters, some things like that, where things were really difficult. The crops didn't go real well. But I feel like early on in your life, and for quite a while, I feel like you partied hard. You might have, like I said, been a warrior who went out and fought battles, or your partner did. Either way, it could have been either one. But that this was a more late in life kind of like, I'm not even sure there was children involved. I'm not even sure children managed to come in this relationship, or if they did, only, one or two children came, which was kind of unusual for the time frame. But I'm not even sure that there was even any children. I got a feeling you might have been childless in this relationship. And that it was one more late in life, either you or your partner, or both of you actually, because I think both of you guys kind of sown your wild oats kind of in your younger years a little bit, and you had a lot going on, but that one of you, either you or your partner, was the one that came back from war, decided they kind of wanted to get away from society a little bit. They were ready to settle down. You guys went out, you built a homestead. And I think you were relatively prosperous at it. I do think there was some lean years and some rough ones. There were some rough winters. There were some times in which the crops didn't do as well as other times. But I think in the long run, that did come out to be a relatively prosperous time. Since I'm not sure that you had children, or the idea of children is a little bit muddled here. We're going to look at the charms, because I either get the idea that you didn't have children at all, or maybe you adopted some neighborhood child or children, because I almost feel like you did have a legacy to pass on, that there was a farm to pass on that might even still be in existence to this day, that has been passed on through the family, because you were successful in building up this homestead and doing so forth. So it's a little hard for me to think there wasn't children at all, but I really feel like maybe there was something about children. Either you had a hard time having children, or you lost some children, um, or that you ended up adopting one because you couldn't have one on your own, especially since you married later in life. Let's go ahead and we'll look at our charms. That might tell us a little bit more about what's going on here. Okay, let's see. You do have the love charm, so I do think this was a loving relationship. How you got it twice, doubled up. I do feel like there was a lot of love here. That when you did finally meet each other, you did finally decide to settle down. There was a lot of love involved. So I do feel like you love this person greatly, and you had a relatively happy life together once you settled down and did this together. We have a BDP and a T. So D, P, T, B, B. So I do think there was a debt involved here somewhere with these letters. For some reason that popped up to me, even though it doesn't spell that entirely. There's also a J. Sometimes I don't see all the letters. Those might mean something specifically to you. They might have been something that you might think of certain things when you see that. This is interesting. Some of the symbolism coming through here, because I do see that there was definitely some harsh winters with the snowflake here and the other card. I really just kind of see a harsh winter kind of thing, but also with the dragonfly and the frog and the butterfly, I do feel like there was some good crop years. There was some good years that you were able, to do things. I think you were clever. We have the fox and the mermaid here. I think you were clever. You were able, the innovative fan here, you were able to come up with some good ways to cultivate the land and some good things to do that. And I do think that you, have the pearl here. You have the key with the diamond. I do think you were prosperous in this. I do think you were able to build up a really, really good farm. You were able to build up some knowledge. I do think that this has to do with the farming as well. Also, the bunny star as well. It's interesting. We still have a child. Because when I see this bow, I think of a child. I really feel like maybe there was just one child, a girl, if there was one, and maybe the homestead passed down through her line, and so maybe the homestead doesn't have the same name that it did. We do have two queens here. We have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Hearts, and we also have the Ten of Clubs. Tens are usually completion energy, finishing off things. The queens are interesting because they usually mean either people in the life or, you and how you were. I do think that in this case, it represents kind of the dual nature of the life that you were leading, because the Queen of Swords is a little bit more stricter, harsher, more down to earth, know how, practical, that kind of thing. And then the Queen of Hearts would be a little bit more romantic love, the deep love, the, things doing really well. And I think that kind of was the duality of the life that you led. Like I said, there were some harsh winters. There was some, reality. I do think that at least one of you was off at war and saw what that was like, and, maybe had some issues involved with that when they came back, and that was one reason why they wanted to get away from society and from, they kind of wanted to be out on their own just a little bit. But like I said, the life wasn't entirely, all happiness, all everything wonderful. There was some harsh times, but I do think in the long run you built it up into being a very prosperous homestead. And like I said, I do think that it's still in existence to this day. I think it has been passed down throughout the family. I think the family still owns it. And I think it is still being worked as a working farm, a working homestead. I think, it's might have even grown since the day that you had it. So that's something to be pretty proud of. As far as whether or not this person you are with is somebody that you have a connection to in this lifetime, that is not as clear. I think you had a really caring relationship in the past time, and I think you built a good life together. You loved each other from that point of view. I think there was a deep bond there, but I'm not sure they were your soulmate, and I'm not sure that you will even meet them up again in this particular lifetime. Maybe again in the future, but I'm not sure that you will in this lifetime. That's interesting to me. A lot of times I think that we work in the same circles of people that we were with in prior lives, and in this case I'm not sure that this particular person is going to show up in this life for you, or they're not going to have the same kind of relationship with you. If they do, I'm not sure that you're going to fall in love and be together in this lifetime. I think that there's something else for you for this lifetime, love-wise. So that's just kind of interesting to me because that's not usually the way that comes out, but that's the feeling I'm getting here. All right, let's go ahead and go on and do our oracle spheres. Basically, you ask a yes or no type of question, and you have 4 different stands that the answers can appear on. You have a gold, green, red, and purple, and you decide based on color or number or however you want to do it where your answer appears on. So let's get our answers. All right, number 1, gold, is a yes. Number 2, green, is a no. Number 3, red, is a very likely. And a number 4, purple, is a yes. All right, so we have gold, yes, green, no, red, very likely, and purple, yes. So that's our oracle sphere answers. Guys, I hope you had fun with this reading. It was mostly meant to be just kind of a fun reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. I kind of did. I kind of like some of the things and the imagery that came out of it. I thought that was fascinating. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up. Share the channel with your friends and family. Leave me comments in the comments section. Let me know what you thought of the reading, or whether or not that resonated with you, or what you thought of it. Alright guys, we look forward to seeing you in future videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye bye.